I cast heat metal on the beer mug. DM says that the horrified dwarf tries to wrestle himself out of the tight grip of the barbarian and paladin and fails the strength throw. You've ruined it, you monster! Talk, or I will make you drink it. This dwarf was never the same after that. Hey, what's up, it's Sky of the Hill here, welcome to another DnDGreentext. How are you guys doing? Hope you're having a wonderful day today. Before jumping into the video, I wanna quickly kindly ask you if you wanna take a second to smash the like button. It helps out and I appreciate it a lot, so thanks so much for that. And yeah, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Anon shoves himself. Pedantic raw rulings. Are you sad that your childhood friend will be gone? Post your favorite examples of stupid rules as written rulings for abilities or effects. Any game or edition is applicable. Another player takes the telekinetic feat. Player takes his first turn his session and wants to use his BA on it. Player: okay, so I'll use telekinetic to move myself 5 feet away. DM: so you want to shove yourself away from yourself? Yes. Are you sure? I said yes. Okay, you explode with all of your chunks falling 5 feet away from your previous location. Okay. I can excuse war crimes, but warm beer is where I draw the line. Players were interrogating a dwarf, but nothing seemed to work. Wizard brings a big half-liter mug of excellent dwarvish beer. Wizard puts the mug on the table. Hold him. Talk or else. Dwarf confused. Or what? I cast heat metal on the beer mug. DM says that the horrified dwarf tries to wrestle himself out of the tight grip of the barbarian and paladin and fails the strength throw. You've ruined it, you monster! Talk, or I will make you drink it. This dwarf was never the same after that. Mental note takers can be just as powerful. Be me, Wildfire Druid. Be not me, Rogue, Bard, Cleric, and DM. Get sent on a mission to find the missing prince. Through investigation, discover that he has run away to be with his gay lover. After a few sessions of tracking him down, we rescue him and a few others who had been captured by slavers. Unfortunately, his lover did not make it out alive. On our way back to the royal entourage to return the prince, we find him and another gone from our camp one morning. One well-placed locate object spell, and we discover the prince professing his love to one of the female rescues, and cue me being the only one that remembers he's gay. Detect magic, that MP4. As suspected, enchantment magic. Make eye contact with the enchantress. I bide my time until we are back with all the royal guards. I feel obligated to inform you that this woman has the good prince under a spell. Fight and choose. However, the enchantress is vastly outnumbered because I'm a smart cookie. I love answering post-game questions. Player: I have a question about Thunderclap. DM: yes, you can get it from Storm Giants. Don't sleep with them. Original backstory for the marshal. First time player. My backstory is that I'm an undefeated paladin looking for a challenger that will let me taste defeat. DM: dude, we're starting from level 1. Yeah, but you said we can come up with our backstories and you will play along. Gods listened to your prayers and stripped you out of your skills, powers and talents to let you taste defeat. After that, you have found yourself unable to survive on your own. I mean, that's pretty creative, I guess. It's kind of what he asked for, in a way. I have now officially played D&D. For years, I've been enjoying stuff like Critical Role and other podcasts, as well as just wishing I could play the game, but having absolutely zero people to play with, as well as massive anxiety with strangers to play with. But a little bit ago, I finally got the courage to respond to an ad elsewhere for an online game, and yesterday morning, I officially had my first D&D session ever. It was actually more fun than I thought it would be too. I always thought I'd enjoy it, but didn't realize how much I would. It feels incredibly great to finally use one of the many characters that I've taught up over the years. I just wanted to share that I have officially played for the first time ever, and that's all this post was. A chance to share my excitement and enjoyment with others. I hope anyone who's read this has a wonderful rest of their day. Okay, I know that wasn't technically a DnDGreentext story that you would like, the kind you would expect, but that was really wholesome. And I don't know, I wanted to read it since it was here. Also, I thought maybe that encourages some people that, are feeling similar to try to go for a game, How to form a party and speedrun session 1. Session 1 for my halfling ranger. Imprisoned by a powerful member of parliament. Half-elf cleric is in my cell to read my last rites. We pray together. He asks about my crime. I tell him that I was falsely imprisoned. Arguing with the guards, and suddenly a portal appears. Gnome wizard comes barreling through. He had been traveling through different planes of existence. Opens a gate into my cell using plot contrivances. What here is it, that gif? The guard is quite put out. Cleric decides it's hammer time. Kill the guard and get the keys. My adventuring gear is conveniently in a cubby outside. Walking the halls. Find a window and we're several floors up. Wizard casts Featherfall. You do what? I cast Featherfall. You have Featherfall? Staring begins. DM checks his notebook. Well, great. The three of you gently float down to the grass below. A couple more guards see us. Book it towards the woods. We run into a group of NPCs. They are on their way to break me and some other innocents out of prison. I didn't read my intel carefully enough and didn't realize you'd be able to get down from those windows. DM runs through the entire session plan in about 30 minutes. We start walking to the nearest city. Mark several groups of bandits while en route. It was a fun session anyway. We got to go back a few sessions later and play through the rest of the prison to free the others. Really thankful for the wizard. He was the wind beneath my wings. Lumbermill Massacre. Be me, forever DM. Be not me, players. Be also not me, the other DM. Be co-DMing a Westmarches style campaign during university. My first time doing so was based around the setting that I had written and the other DM played in. Players rolled up mercs and worked for what was essentially a colony that would one day become the metropolis city of that campaign. I digress. I, having no experience doing a West March, just handled it like regular D&D, albeit episodic. First time with me, the players at my table were investigating strange occurrences spotted by hunters on the far side of the river. Goblin Shaman using necromancy is prepping to raid the colony. Shenanigans occur and the players are victorious. Now, CoDM and I had pre-planned the general feel and scope for the first bit of the campaign. Goblins and hobgoblins primarily, and the larger tribe and sub-tribes in the area. I was to handle the sub-tribes while CoDM focused on the main tribe, which was composed of hobgoblins. Now, CoDM had played in a variety of Westmarch style campaigns in the past, primarily Warhammer 40k with Imperial Guardsmen parties. If you know where I'm going with this, you will understand my surprise and horror. A subsequent session I hosted had about half the players from my initial session and some newbies. Chatting prior to the session, I commented how X's druid character was in for a treat today. Oh no, he died, I'm a monk now. My face when half of my table was on their second and a couple on their third characters. Weirded out, I ran my session and then asked the co-DM about it. Oh dude, the Lumbermill session was a massacre. What? He explains that the task he gave the 6 or so players at his session was to clear out a lumber mill that had been taken over by the hobgoblins as a forward operating base. Players at this point in time were level 3. This guy went full Tucker's kobolds on them. Choke points, firing ports, hobgoblins information, 2 chain brute ogres, and wargs. The guy even had forward operating scouts that used pretty sophisticated squad tactics like feigning retreat into more ambushes, cutting off the player's own retreat, and so on. Every single player at that session died at least once. And the lumber mill was not cleared. They went an entire D&D session, probably 2 to 4 hours, assaulting this fortified position and just dying. I was flabbergasted. The lumber mill became the sole focus point of the West March, but because it was outside my scope I could not DM it, nor did I want to because it was definitely co-DM's jewel. So the West March would work as follows. Players would come to me for a session to get loot and experience. After grinding, they would organize and go to the co-DM and attempt the lumber mill. They would then get massacred and roll new characters. Now, what was making this worse was that I was giving more and more loot to the players and they would subsequently be dying at the lumber mill. The co-DM was keeping track of certain mobs who would be then equipping said magic loot and using it against later players. He even went so far to start naming particular enemies there who used to be just standard stat blocks. At one point, he asked me about my opinion on giving his hobgoblins experience so they could start leveling up as well. I was floored. Eventually, after a couple of months of sessions, a group of sneaky players created a plan to deal with the lumber mill once and for all. I'm unsure of the details, but most of the players died that session. But the lumber mill was up in flames. Ultimately, the quest was deemed a failure as the players were unable to retake the mill. But to the players, it was a solid victory. And as they chatted happily about it to me during a following session, I instructed them that their new quest was to escort some laborers and protect them as they built a new lumber mill. The look of horror on their face as they'd have to deal with the hobgoblins now on the offense was delicious. But sadly, the West March ended before it came to pass. Oh wow, that's kind of an unfortunate ending, but I am happy for them that they managed to do what they wanted. The dice don't like the plan. DM convinces a 4-man D&D group to run a Cyberpunk one-shot just to see if we like it. This was Cyberpunk 2020, so it would have been a while back. Players are a bit out of their element, thrown by new mechanics and D10 based system. Not to worry, DM says, we'll keep this simple. Straightforward contract, steal some documents from an ambassador. Documents are in an office on top floor of embassy, housed in a secure safe. Players put their heads together and come up with a plan. Step 1. Smuggle smoke grenades into the building. Step 2. Set up grenades in ventilation system. Step 3. PCs disguise themselves in firefighter outfits. Step 4. Detonate the smoke grenades to trigger the fire alarm. Step 5. Wait for the fire department to evacuate the building. Step 6. Sneak in, disguised as firefighters. Step 7. Find the safe and crack it with explosive charges. Step 8. Grab the documents and skedaddle. Players like the plan. DM also likes the plan and is impressed with his players' ingenuity. DICE do not like the plan. Player A has the best demolition skill, so he goes in solo for steps 1 and 2. Picks a public restroom as the ideal place to plant the grenades. DM gives him a 10% chance that somebody has to use the toilet while player A is working. DICE. Lol, what's this? Natural 1. Clerk walks in on player A unscrewing a vent. He puts on a tough guy face and rolls intimidation. Lol no, says the dice. The clerk runs off screaming for security. Security captures player A and turns him over to the police. GTA busted.jpg. DM encourages the party to retreat to a safe house and make a new plan after player A gets out on bail. Party opts to try again immediately rather than come back after the embassy has beefed up security. Player A is cool with sitting things out, so the job proceeds with the remaining 3 characters. No time to get more grenades, so player B jerry-rigs a flamethrower from aerosol cans and a lighter. Successfully starts the restroom fire and then rejoins the rest of the party. Plan goes well up to step 6. But when they find the ambassador's office, turns out that 2 guards have failed to evacuate. Cue a shootout. Dice. Lol, watch this. Player B crit fails and accidentally shoots player C. Fortunately, it's not a fatal wound and the players manage to take out the guards. Player B rolls demolitions to set up the bomb. Dice. Lol, crit fail mofo. Drops the bomb due to butterfingers, causing the timer to short out. Player D rolls mechanics and fixes it. The second attempt goes better and the players take cover behind a big oak desk. Timer is set for 10 seconds. 10 seconds pass and no boom. 20 more seconds pass and no boom. 30 more seconds pass and still no boom. Player D sticks his head up from cover like a prairie dog. Kaboom! Looney Tunes suit covered face.jpg. That's a running total of 2 characters injured and 1 arrested. DM gives a 70% chance the explosion was enough to crack open the safe. Dice. Lol nope. Smoke clears and the safe is sitting there looking very smug for an inanimate object. Players say screw it and make a tactical retreat to the safe house. DM shifts focus to player A in the interrogation room. Plans to give him a chance to talk his way out, possibly get some information for the next try. Player A first has to roll to resist intimidation from the 2 inept cops. Natural 1 mofo, says the dice. DM calls BS and tells player A to reroll. Do I stutter? Natural 1. So a hardened, streetwise cyberpunk merc improbably cracks under the pressure of interrogation 101. Blabs about the mission, blabs about fellow party members, blabs about his employer, and blabs about the safe house. The rest of the party arrives back at the safe house to find the SWAT team waiting for them. Players decide they don't like Cyberpunk 2020. Oh god, dude. No, yeah, that's a lot of unlucky rolls, Jesus. Alright, that's gonna be it for today's video, so thanks so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like if you did, and subscribe for more if you haven't already. Also, thank you to everyone supporting the channel on Patreon, as well as on YouTube, I appreciate a lot, so thanks so much for those. Links below if you want to check those out, any social media, subreddit, Discord, anything else. And yeah, that's it, thanks again for watching, I'll see you next time, have a great day, bye!